Greetings, Starfighter. You have been recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Zur and the Kodan Armada. Get ready. Prepare for blast off.
Your fortress of solitude.
Greetings, program.
Glad you're alive.
Your sanctum sanctorum.
Resistance is futile.
Welcome.
This should be the first triumph. This is where the fun begins.
Proof positive that geeks have inherited the earth.
It's showtime.
It's time to get your geek on.
You complete me.
With Dave Gramillion.
All right. Welcome here, San Antonio. Welcome here, all parts Texas, and every corner of the United States, and all points beyond. This is Get Your Geek On, and we have breaking news that you'll need to hear this hour. I am Dave Gramillion. You have found one of the most listened to talk radio shows for geeks in the United States, powered by the Texas Renaissance Festival. With over 650,000 people attending the event, going on now through November 25th. Get your tickets now at texrenfest.com. This is Season 3, Episode 19, and today on Freedom 1160 and freedom1160.com, we've got a lot of news that we got to dive into, including Doctor Who news. The ratings for the first 2 episodes are out. Their first ever female doctor. We knew the first episode was big, but the ratings are out now on the second episode. How big of a drop-off, if any, was there? We'll talk about that, as well as some big-time DC news. Are you ready for another television DC series? It's coming, and there's a lot of hope behind it. We'll tell you who's getting that one coming up. Marvel lost a series. Did you catch this news also? One of the Marvel Netflix original series has gone the way of the dodo, and we'll be talking about which one it was lost, and are you really going to miss it, and which show could be next on the chopping block. We'll talk about that. We have our weekly poll results on facebook.com/GYGO radio. We want to get into the weekly poll results as well. And San Antonio, have you heard about this Celebrity Fan Fest? I know all eyes are on Alamo City Comic Con. Our eyes are on it. The city, the state, parts of the nation are waiting for this con to happen. But the Celebrity Fan Fest is coming up as well, and this came out of nowhere. We're going to tell you the big names coming into this, and then we're going to celebrate the decade of geeky greatness. It all started back in 2008, and it has transformed just about everything that you know and love, and we'll talk about that coming up as well. Let me go ahead and introduce my partners in crime here. If you look to my right, your left across the radio dial, you will see the new guy in town. We're looking for nicknames for this guy. We've all got them, and we got to find one for him. He is Aaron Shapiro. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Happy to be here. I've always,
Welcome.
I'm always happy.
Yep.
So, and I'm just not happy for the names, though, because I'm afraid what's going to come up.
You are always happy. You're a very happy type of guy.
I try.
Until it comes to Black Ops 4.
Yeah. We're not. No Black Ops 4.
No Megastar. No. You bring the Black Ops 4. I know clean Black Ops 4.
I bring Lemon Pledge.
There you go. And if you look further to my right, your left across the radio dial, you will see the man spinning the ones and zeros, the man behind the soundboard, our sound prognosticator. He is Goose.
What's going on?
What's shaking, Goose?
Oh, technical stuff as normal.
Technical stuff as normal. That's... Oh, wait, no, that's not good. I was like, oh, good. Technical stuff. Hey, wait a minute. No, we're good, right? We're okay?
We're all right.
So far, so good. The weather's going to be playing havoc. It's like, I swear, you look out the window here in the comfy confines of the Freedom 1160 studios. Did we move to Seattle?
I think so.
Maybe.
I mean, I was at Seattle this year for the Emerald City Comic Con, which was a lot of fun. I got to go to the fish market and got to see a lot of great people and everything. But, yeah, this weather sucks. It's terrible. I mean, I don't mind the occasional, rain. That's okay, rain and then be done with it. But this sucks. It's been like a month and a half of cruddy weather.
I like it.
Cruddy weather.
I prefer this over the heat because then, we have to complain about the heat.
Well, yeah, but I didn't expect it to drop 27 degrees in 5 hours.
Yeah, he got me on that one. But, it's still nice. I like it.
The cold front didn't just arrive in San Antonio. It punched us in the mouth. And that was, whoa. Oh, man, that was awful. All right. So let's go ahead and we'll dive right into the news here. And let's kick things off by talking about the latest, the greatest that is coming up with Doctor Who.
It's just a jump to the left.
And then a step to the right.
Put your hands on your hips.
You're bringing knees inside. Release the pelvic thrust.
All righty. So we all knew that the premiere would be big. I mean, I think just about everybody out there knew that the Jodie Whittaker new Doctor Who series would be monstrously huge. Some people wanted to watch to see if it would be a train wreck. Some people wanted to watch it to see if the TARDIS really would be pink. And some people wanted to watch it because it's just Doctor Who. They just want to see Doctor Who again. And the ratings were indeed huge. They were the highest since Chris Eccleston was the Doctor. Think about that for a minute.
That was like, what, 9 years ago?
That was 10 years. 10 years ago. It's the highest in 10 years. And when Eccleston took over, of course, that was the rebirth of the show. So, of course, the ratings were going to be huge. It was like The Force Awakens coming back for Star Wars. We all knew that box office was going to be huge because we hadn't had Star Wars since 1983.
Right.
That's right. I said it, since 1983. So, of course, that was going to be big. So we knew that the Whittaker premiere would be big as well. It was the highest in 10 years. But what about the second episode? Are people going to stick around for this? So far, only one Doctor had his ratings actually go up instead of down in the second episode. And you can take a wild guess as to who that would have been.
Peter Capaldi.
No. No, nice try. Nice try. That was amazing. That would be David Tennant, Britain's favored son. Yeah. I mean, God, man, that guy could do anything right now.
He really
He
can.
could probably run for queen and be elected. And that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But trust me, David Tennant could do it.
He would.
So there was a slight drop. However, it was only about a drop of 1 million people.
That's it?
That was it. Which
That's
I
not
know,
bad.
1 million people, that's like, half of the city of San Antonio stopped watching. But for a show that brings in 11 million people, that's not that big of a drop. It was a much, much smaller drop than was expected. So that's a huge win. People love Jodie Whittaker.
That's awesome.
They love her as the new Doctor.
I need to give it a chance. I still haven't watched it yet.
I stopped watching when Capaldi came on. That first season
what?
is
Never mind.
real
I'm
hard
done.
to struggle through. It is. The writing was just not the best. It just
Man on a tank with a guitar. That's how he rolled in when I first saw. That was the very first episode I saw.
man chasing after a dinosaur.
That sounds fun,
in
too.
the Tims. That was
Yeah.
okay. So Jodie Whittaker's second episode of the season received an audience of 7.1 million for BBC One. That still represents 1/3 of all their viewers.
Wow.
So 1 in 3 people who watched the BBC One watched Doctor Who with Jodie Whittaker. Those numbers are actually expected to go up because those are the people that just watched it when it happened. They didn't watch, there are people that have DVRs
Right.
and people that'll stream it later and that sort of thing. So, wow, those are huge numbers. It currently places The Woman Who Fell to Earth, which is the first episode for Jodie Whittaker.
Okay.
It is the most watched episode since the time of the Doctor in 2013.
Oh, wow.
Now, the time of the Doctor, and for those of y'all who aren't familiar with Doctor Who, was the 50th anniversary special, or it was part of that 50th anniversary special, and was, in my opinion, one of the best episodes of television I've ever seen about anything ever. That includes Avatar: The Last Airbender, Animaniacs, Batman the Animated Series, MASH, WKRP, Cheers, the whole 9 yards. I'm telling you, that was a real whiz-bang of an episode. The time of the Doctor was 11.1 million, and it had the highest debut for a Doctor since Chris Eccleston in Rose, which was 10.8 million. So Jodie Whittaker is killing it.
She's up there with some big names right there, too.
She really is. So she didn't just break through the proverbial glass ceiling, she shattered it.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
That really is. I mean, because the fact, like you said, Eccleston in Rose, that was episode 1, right?
That was episode 1, his premiere. And so, I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
You think about it, that would be the equivalent, because we know The Force Awakens, I'm going to reference this again, was the first real Star Wars we had since 83. So, yeah, I went there again. You like that? I'm going to keep on doing that, too. So it'd be the equivalent of, like, The Last Jedi making only 1 point. Oh, wait a minute. It did do almost as well as The Force Awakens at the box office.
Oh, wow.
It was off, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't by off by that much. But it was really impressive how she's pulled this together. I'm still not big on the Scooby Gang that she has for companions. I like the idea of only 1 or 2 at the most.
Yeah.
Rather than, the pack that follows her along. Hopefully they'll kill one of them off. That would be nice.
That's what I'm thinking they're going to do. I really think they're going to kill somebody off.
I hope so. I really do. Bring it on for, add some tension, add some drama, that sort of thing. But Jodie Whittaker, though, rave reviews all over social media. Have you seen the people talking about her?
No, not yet. I haven't, because I try to stay away from it right now because I haven't watched the first episode.
Okay,
so I'm staying away so I don't get any spoilers.
Okay, spoiler alert. She's awesome.
I mean, that's good, though.
People love her.
Peter Capaldi
Goose,
good.
have you seen anything out of Jodie yet?
I saw the first episode. I still need to watch the second one.
What did you think of The Woman Who Fell to Earth?
I liked it. I mean, the first episode is always a little clunky.
True.
So yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. I haven't watched the second episode yet. I still need to do
Actually,
that.
the first season of any show, and let's face it, this pretty much is a new show when you have a new Doctor. First season of any show is always going to be clunky. The first season of Doctor Who, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Not just the Chris Eccleston one, but the very first season was, wow. First season of Star Trek The Next Generation. First season of right. Yeah, you're right.
Had to go there.
Oops. But yeah, the first season's always going to... The only exception that I know of where the first season might be one of the best seasons is the original Star Trek series, because that third season was not all that good. The budget cuts were glaringly obvious, and nobody had fun watching that stinker, I can tell you right now. All right, but you know what you can keep an eye on, though, are the friends over at Heroes and Villains of Cosplay here in San Antonio. They're known as Havoc, and they're a great bunch of people. They really are. They like to have fun. They like to cosplay together. And one of the best parts about the Heroes and Villains of Cosplay is that you don't have to be screen accurate. You can cosplay what you want. If you want to do a steampunk version, do a steampunk version. If you want to be a crossover, if you want to be Spider-Man Xenomorph, knock yourself out. And then I know. Actually, I'm kind of interested to see what that would look like now. That'd be kind of cool. So you definitely want to check out our friends. If you have any questions on cosplaying, if you need help with the cosplay, then you want to look into our friends over at the Heroes and Villains of Cosplay here in San Antonio. All right, so that'll wrap up our Doctor Who segment. Let's go ahead and we'll jump right into some DC news. Alrighty, so we have a new series in development, and this is where Goose and I are going to disagree on a couple of things, because it is a Superman television series.
One, it's reportedly in development.
Well, reportedly, which is why we're reportedly going to talk about reporting it. Allegedly, we'll talk about it.
Yes.
So let's say this does happen. This report came to us. I saw it on comicbook.com is where I got this little bit of news. It's the first Superman series. Let's say adult Superman. I'm not counting Smallville. Since Lois and Clark, correct?
Right. So, and Smallville wasn't a Superman series; it was a Clark Kent series.
Well, that's true, but he was
becoming Superman.
That's like saying Gotham isn't a Batman series.
Superman never actually made an appearance.
Well, that's true. That's true enough. So, the Superman series is being developed. The first one since Lois and Clark in the 90s.
Yes.
And I don't see why we need this series, because we already have Supergirl. Supergirl, the cousin of Superman, is basically doing what Superman would do anyway. Fight villains, dress up in tights and a cape, fly around, be a mild-mannered reporter, and get into all sorts of shenanigans. What is the difference going to be between Superman series and Supergirl series?
Well, Lois for one, stable relationship for two. So we get to see that, and also we don't have to dance around the cousins. You know, Supergirl has had to dance around Superman now for 3 years.
And she can pull off some pretty good dance moves.
She can.
I'm just saying.
But the ability to integrate and be able to talk directly about instead of talk around is going to be really good.
Which is fine because they had to establish Supergirl.
Right.
Right. Okay, so that's fine.
I thought Superman did come out in Supergirl.
He did.
Right.
He during the first season, we never actually saw his face. He was cast by Tyler Hoechlin. Tyler Hoechlin in season 2, but because of the fact that, he costs money, that you can't have him on, and you can't have him come and save the day all the time. Otherwise, it becomes the Superman series by default.
Right.
Not only that, Supergirl does not have any real good, stable romantic relationships. You don't see the sacrifice that this has on a normal relationship, if you will. Not only that, you run the risk of having every single Superman villain become a Supergirl villain by default. So we're gonna have Superman and Supergirl at the same time.
Yes. And 2 separate series.
Yes, but on the same Earth, which Supergirl is on her own Earth. She can't interact with the other people on a regular basis. Like she can't go to Star City or to or to Central City. Like Arrow and Flash can.
But I still don't see, though, why we need this series when we already have Supergirl. Just to say because he'll have a stable relationship with Lois Lane, that's not a reason to have a series, though.
Look, there's no such thing as too many Kryptonians on television, all right?
I mean, that's true, too. Okay, so Is it going to be on the CW or is it on the DC app? Have they said that part yet?
Everything I've read says it's going to be the Tyler Hoechlin Superman.
Okay.
And it's going to be on
So
CW.
On the CW.
Okay.
So the crossover is kind of a backdoor pilot for it, just like it is for Batwoman.
I just don't see it though. I don't see the reason to have this show because now the comparisons are going to start about which show is better, which hero is better, which one blah 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 blah. I mean, we've paired them up in the March Madness tournament, and Superman wins every time. But I just don't see the reason. This would be like having a Batman. They're going to have the Batwoman show, and now they're going to announce that 2 years after or 3 years after Batwoman, now they're going to have a Batman show, and it'd be like, why? I don't understand the need for this series.
Is there ever a need for any of them, though?
No.
It's to fun. It's to have that fun of watching it, the nostalgia from the geeks of like, oh my God, Superman again. And versus, oh, it's Supergirl, she's cool, but it's not the guy I read when I was growing up. It's Superman.
Then why don't we close down Supergirl and say, you know what, 4 seasons, great run, appreciate all that you did. You'll do some cameos in the Superman series.
Why are you taking the beautiful woman out of those tights?
You're misogynist.
That's what it is. That's right. I'm all about the patriarchy and
Yes.
all that.
Because at the same time, let's face it, when she does do the crossovers, she has some type of fling going on with Flash. So you have that coming, and now that he's married, she doesn't know what's going on. What if she does come over and tries to hit on him or something? Then there's that tension again, and then Iris is going to be like, "Hey, that's my man. What's going on here?"
Well,
and it causes tension.
So
again.
again, we're going back to the relationships, which tells me that we're in this for the soap opera drama, as opposed to we need this because it'll be its own series. It'll have its own villains. It'll be a broader picture. It'll be a side of Superman that we hadn't seen before, like the Krypton series that was on Sci-Fi. That I can see. That was different. That had some merit to it. That brought something new to the table, as opposed to this, which I'm hearing from Goose and from the new guy, #new guy.
Oh, gosh.
That we need this because relationships.
Well, we also need it because we get to see more. One, it allows Supergirl to develop her own villains instead of relying on Superman villains. We also get to see what other villains would look like in the CW verse, like maybe Bizarro. Where we're going to get Lex Luthor. We've seen Lena Luthor already. And Brainiac and Parasite and a couple of other things.
But Supergirl had to fight Cat Grant, but like as herself,
and we might
which
be
was
able to
cool.
see Cat Grant because she flirted with Clark a little bit there.
Oh, Cat Grant was the best part of that series. I'm just saying. She was hands down. She was better than Supergirl. She was better than Lena. She was better than anybody. I watched that series. I watched the whole first season to see what Cat Grant was going to do.
Look, we all know your crush on Harrison Ford extends to his wife. So hush.
So here's the other thing, though. Okay, so you're worried about the villains and all that.
Well, no,
not the villains. We're like, what else besides the love?
Yeah,
right?
let me be
Okay.
clear. I don't want to bring up a Superman series because of the love.
So you can bring him in because, like Goose is saying, you get Superman's villains. Because let's face it, Superman lives in a cardboard world. He needs a strong character that he can hit, actually. You need, like, Doomsday. You need somebody that's super powered to fight him.
Okay.
Because we can't see him fighting Trickster. We can't see him
By the
fighting
way,
Joker.
I don't want to see Doomsday for at least 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah, but I mean, I agree with you on that. But we need someone that can keep up with him. Because he's even said in the comics, this is a cardboard world for me. Because he can't go full strength. But let's say they have a disagreement. All of a sudden, you have Superman and Supergirl fighting. They can actually throw full punches and actually hit the other one across a continent, kind of thing.
Speaking about villains, let me throw this out there, and this isn't even in the notes or anything. I literally just thought this up right now. With the news about Henry Cavill lately, is he in? Is he out? Is he not Superman? Is he still Superman? Could this series be a prelude to Tyler taking on the mantle full time in a future Justice League movie or future Man of Steel movie where he ends up fighting Darkseid?
I doubt it.
I doubt it too because they've already established that the movies and the TV are separate and neither the twain shall meet.
Yes, and we all know that Warner Brothers sticks to their word so well.
Well, I mean, they even killed off people in Arrow for Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
because they're like, you can't use that character anymore.
Yeah, but if you believe that Warner Brothers will stick to that no matter what, I got some news for you. Benedict Cumberbatch will really be John Harrison in Star Trek Into Darkness because J.J. Abrams said it.
Well,
No. We're okay there. But let me put you.
listen here, Dave Grimillion.
Oh God, Darkseid.
If they want to bring me Darkseid, Lord of Apocalypse, onto the CW,
Our security here sucks.
I will not be.
I mean, they got Omega Beam, so.
Can we get him? Can we get like his elevator access to only the 11th floor? Can we stop him there and just?
They must be willing to pay for Darkseid.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get him off the phone now. We're good.
Aw. Bye, Darkseid. I love you.
Bye, Darkseid. Go back.
My
Go
favorite
away. No, I think it's entirely possible that maybe, especially considering, remember, there's been a massive shift over at the Warner Brothers when it comes to the world of the DC EU universe thing. Now, whatever it is they're going to call it. There's been a big shift, a big change. They've replaced Jeff Johns. They've replaced the writing staff. They've got a new direction. I say it's entirely possible that we'll see Tyler take on the mantle full-time TV and movies, and this could be the precursor to see how he does.
But it's kind of, look at Stephen Amell. So Stephen Amell does Arrow.
Yep.
And then he took the summer, basically, to go shoot Turtles. So, and let's face it, his part was small. And he even said that drained him.
Yeah.
He was like, I was everywhere. I don't think someone would want to do that. Like every other year, every few years, having to jump back and forth. And then again, if you have Superman in the movie, he has to be one of the main focuses. He can't get, what did Stephen Amell was in, like, what, maybe 20 minutes of Turtles? Maybe?
Give or take, plus or minus.
So now you're saying this guy has to be Superman in a 2-hour, 2.5-hour long movie, probably being in there 40, 45 minutes. I don't know. I just don't see it.
I'm just saying, and believe me, I'm not saying that this is what will happen, but I'm just saying it's entirely possible, given what we know about Henry Cavill, what we know about the new direction, and given that this new series is coming out, it's possible. All the signs are kind of starting to point that way.
It'd be nice. It would be nice to finally see, like, Stephen Amell be Arrow on there, or Grant Gustin be the Flash in those movies. I would love to see those actors on there.
That'd be great.
Have y'all seen the posters for Elseworlds?
Oh my gosh, yes, I love them.
Stephen Amell is going to be the Flash.
I love it.
That's going to be very
awesome.
Seeing him in red was kind of a wake up call.
Well, and
wasn't
also
it?
they're changing what episodes Arrow when, because it's going to start with Flash on Sunday.
Yeah.
And Arrow stays on Monday though, right?
But
and then
yeah.
Supergirl on Tuesday.
Speaking of these changes here, so kind of going over to the Marvel side of the coin here for a little bit. Iron Fist was canceled.
I know, right?
A big shocker, right? I mean, because everybody loved that series.
He was such the weakest one that everyone, like, ratings wise, I guess I should say.
Because his first season was so slow, so dull, so plotting. Especially, you can't help but compare it to Daredevil and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage.
Have you seen Heroes? That first season was slow on plotting.
That's true.
Yeah. But if you save the cheerleader, you save the world. Okay,
that's true.
Hayden Panettiere made that series. Okay, and it gave us Spock. So you can't fault it all that much. But here's the thing. So Iron Fist is gone. It's the first Marvel series to be canceled. I mean, just outright, it's done. They've cut it. It's gone. And so we did a weekly poll, and we do this at facebook.com/GYGO radio. And the big question was, do you think it was canceled too soon? 55%, and we got something like 700 votes on this. 55% said yes, it was canceled too soon. It should have had a third season. And 45% were like, no, that thing had to go. Yeah. So 55% of y'all wanted to see a third season, and that's kind of a big difference.
Yeah.
So here's a question: If Iron Fist is gone, does he still? Are they doing another season of Defenders? And if so, does he make an appearance?
Unless they replace him with the Punisher.
I'm going to say no on another Defenders, because the first Defenders was so hyped and fell so flat. It really didn't meet anyone's expectations whatsoever. So I don't think they're going to do that again unless...
I think they'll have to do it as an actual movie.
Like Jon Favreau is in charge of it or something, or Kevin Feige himself steps in. I think they'll keep the show separate. So Iron Fist is gone, but is there a DC show that may be around the corner and on the chopping block? The Black Lightning show is down 37% in ratings from last year.
It's on what, season 2 or 3?
Season 2, and
okay.
It did not change its day.
Nope.
It did not change its time.
Nope.
Okay.
Flash and Black Lightning stayed on Tuesdays.
You mean
where
Arrow?
Arrow moved.
Oh, no,
Arrow moved to Monday. Legends of Tomorrow will be following Arrow on Mondays.
Right.
Supergirl moved to Sundays.
So Black Lightning has half the audience of The Flash.
And
Wow.
Yeah, and it dropped a third from its premiere season.
37%.
So
year to year.
It's CW oversaturated with comic book stuff.
Look, now, if you remember the beginning of the year, we talked about how many shows were coming out. And I said like, you can go back to, I think it was February sometime, and I said, this is way too much. This is way, way too much content for television. And now it's starting to bite people in the butt.
So you're saying that maybe because Arrow's been there, Flash, everyone else has like been established the last few years, that this is the one that people are like, don't feel like investing more
and
time.
not only that, but we had, and then Marvel started just rolling out content after content, and now Iron Fist was canceled. You know, there was the Cloak and Dagger and the Gifted and Legion, and they started rolling out all this content. It's too much. It's way too much content.
If you remember, Legends had a truncated season compared to the other shows because the head of CW said we're not going to have any more than 4 superhero shows on at any one time.
Okay.
And apparently they said, never mind.
DC.
So
now we're going to have as many as possible.
And with Black Lightning not actually connected to the Arrowverse and not going to be represented in the crossover, is it because it actually has no connection to anything else? Could that be what's killing it?
To be honest, that's why I don't watch it. There's no connection. There's never going to be a reference of Oliver Queen or, happens to be for the Flash over here for a quick second. That's one of the reasons I don't.
What the CW has right now. The Flash, Charmed, Supergirl, Riverdale, Supernatural, Arrow, Black Lightning, All-American Dynasty, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which is getting ready to end anyway. Yeah. Those are their 10 shows.
And Legends comes back on Monday.
Legends comes back. So we're losing Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. We're picking up Legends of Tomorrow. That's a lot of content.
You also forgot Constantine. There's an animated show.
But that's on CWC.
Oh, that's right.
That's on the CW. So that's a lot of content there.
So
I
always thought Arrow should have ended after season 5. You tell the complete 10-year story of Oliver Queen becoming the Green Arrow.
Yep, we're good.
And I honestly think if they had stuck to that, they'd actually be in a much better position with Black Lightning and any other shows that they wanted to come out with.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even I remember Mel saying that they had nothing planned for after season 5 at first. And he was even like, I think I'm done. I don't know if I'm going to get rehired.
In my opinion, should have been. There is a point where you drag this out too long. There's so much content. It's no longer, hey, did you see that episode of Arrow last night? No, I was too busy watching Supernatural and The Flash and Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh man, well you missed a really good one. Oh crap. Well then I guess next week I'll watch Arrow, but I gotta not watch The Flash in order to make. I mean, there's too much. I have a friend of mine who is constantly he's asking me, hey, did you catch this last night? Did you catch that? Did you play this game? Did you play? I don't have the time. I just don't have the time for
What's
this sort
funny
of thing.
is that Arrow gained audience moving to Mondays, even against Monday Night Football.
Yes, that is very much true. So, of course, the NFL's down anyway, so that kind of sucks for them. But I think Black Lightning is on the bubble already. It's early, I know, but 37% is a lot to overcome.
Yeah.
Coming up after the bottom half of the hour news break, Celebrity Fan Fest. Hey, San Antonio, find out who is coming. The names are absolutely huge. And then we start talking about the decade of geeky greatness right here on Freedom 1160 and freedom1160.com. All right. Welcome back from the bottom half of the hour news break. This is Get Your Geek On Freedom 1160 Talk Radio, powered by the Texas Renaissance Festival. With over 650,000 people attending the event right now through November 25th, you want to get your tickets at texrenfest.com. I'm Dave Gurmillion, and if you missed the first half of the show, we had some breaking news regarding Doctor Who, the new series that has come out with Jodie Whittaker taking over as the Doctor. We also talked some DC and Marvel television news. We lost a Marvel series, and we firmly believe that there's a DC series on the chopping block. But if you missed that news, it's no problem. You don't have to miss the news ever again. You can listen to our award-winning podcast. That's right. All of our shows, everything, guest interviews, and all that fun jazz gets taken right over to the podcast, which you can catch on Google Play, Spotify, iTunes, Omni, Stitcher, and there's one more. I always forget there's one.
TuneIn.
TuneIn. That's right. We picked up TuneIn recently. So 6 ways to get the best podcast in San Antonio in 2017 as voted on by the readers of San Antonio Magazine. Alrighty. So speaking of San Antonio, have you gotten out to the Texas Renaissance Festival yet? Not yet. Because, wow. I know the weather's been a little frightful, but the weekends actually have been kind of good so far, knock on wood.
Yeah.
And the Texas Renaissance Festival this weekend was I believe it was their pirate weekend.
Arr, I'd be a pirate.
Yeah, yar, matey. And so they have these themed weekends, and they have campgrounds and family events, and there's so much going on. Every time I look at their website, texrenfest.com, there's always something going on there. So many vendors, so much food. Oh my God, the food. It's like
turkey leg.
It's like the Texas State Fair done Renaissance. which is pretty cool.
That sounds good.
It's
wanna go.
it's really cool. And there's
I'm
so
going
much going on. It's just to the northwest of Houston. So it is a little bit of a drive if you're in San Antonio. If you're in Houston, you're probably listening to us from there already.
On the campgrounds.
Yeah, exactly. Kids under 13 get in for free on Sundays. And more themed weekends are coming up. So you do not want to miss that. It all ends November 25th, so get your tickets now at texrenfest.com. Now, down in San Antonio, all eyes are on the Alamo City Comic-Con. Arnold
They
Schwarzenegger, Rick Moranis.
Oh my God, Rick Moranis. I
There's
wanna
the
go see him.
Sandlot VIP group. There's the Craft VIP group. I think at last count we saw that there were like 53 guests, 17 voice actor guests, artist guests, vendors, and everything. They're going to occupy the Alamo Dome for the entire weekend, and it's going to be phenomenal. In fact, we're going to be there as well.
Are we?
Yes, we are. It's going to be awesome. And we will
there
give you
all
all the
weekend.
details about where you can find us out there on the stage doing panels and everything else. We'll give you all those details when we got to get it nailed down first.
Get some nails, get some boards.
After that,
What's happening?
after Alamo City Comic Con, there's something else coming.
Things are happening.
And nobody saw this coming. This came right out of nowhere. The Celebrity Fan Fest held at the JW Marriott on the far north side of San Antonio. You know, when you're almost to, what's that, Comal County?
Is it? I
Yeah,
know. I've been there
it's,
once.
It's
I
like
think.
almost Comal County.
Okay.
It's literally like not too far from the border. So the JW Marriott on November 10th and 11th is the Celebrity Fan Fest. And I heard about this, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's just like
they're-
no big deal. You never know.
Yeah, okay, that's cute. I guess somebody at the JW Marriott knows somebody or something.
It came out of nowhere, literally.
It came with the cold front.
Yeah, it came in with the
Something
cold
like
front.
that.
And I'm like, oh, okay, all right. So what do they have? Well, they announced that they're going to get Ray Fisher, who is
Okay.
Cyborg.
Not a bad
from
start.
Justice
Not a
League.
bad start.
Right.
All right, that's pretty
And
good.
this is the inauguration year so far, right?
Yeah, this
Yes.
is
Just
this,
wanna make
this
sure.
is it.
Okay.
Jewel State, who was Kaylee in Firefly.
And Stargate Atlantis.
And
she was in there.
Yeah, and she was in Stargate Atlantis. All right, so that's
not bad. Not
That's
a bad
cool.
start.
That's
Not
really
bad.
nice. Then Joe Flanagan was announced, also Stargate Atlantis.
Still not bad. Still solid.
And then came the bombshell.
Well, one of them.
One of the bombshells, Jason Momoa, who is Aquaman.
Yes.
Covered in water.
Covered in water. I'm sure that'll be a requirement for the photo op, right?
Just douses water on himself. Yeah,
he has,
we're
he has-
good.
he has people that spritz him. You know, they have like little spritzers.
I see. I don't see that. I see him with a bucket and he just puts it back down. Yeah, I'm
They-
good, guys.
They just he has to stand over a grate, right? Like the water's recycled. Or I guess at this point they could just hold the photo op outside.
Yeah,
and
there you
that'd be
go.
the same thing with the rain and everything. And then came one. I mean, Jason Momoa, he did Wizard World last
Yeah.
year. He's done a couple of cons. That's okay. But nobody saw this one coming. This one struck the city like a thunderbolt. It's Ben Affleck.
Wow.
Ben
That's
Affleck
amazing
coming to
right
San
there.
Antonio.
See, I wanted to see him in Dallas, and I missed out. So now I get a second chance. I'm excited.
I am as well. I'm a little worried though.
Don't be worried.
It's not really a criticism. Don't get me wrong, but the JW Marriott is not exactly well known for their parking.
Well, they also limited the ticket count.
They have. This is going to be. Do not expect this to be like the
Carpool.
Dallas Fan Days or Alamo City
No.
or New York City or anything like that. This is going to be a limited event. I mean, it's a hotel, people.
Yeah.
They cannot cram 5,000 people into this hotel to attend this fan fest.
So-
It's not going to happen.
Think about this. You have to buy your tickets either in advance
Yes.
Right.
or on your mobile device on site. There's not going to be a ticket kiosk. There's not going to be people, at places for you to buy tickets. Only in advance or on your mobile device.
Speaking of tickets, so what's the cost to get into this sucker? I'm sure you're dying to know.
Exactly. I want to know.
It's $60 for adults,
Which is not bad.
for one day.
Not bad at all.
Not too shabby. I mean, we don't even know if they're done making announcements yet. I mean,
That's true.
We don't know who else they could bring in. $10 for children.
I can bring my kiddo.
That's really
that
good.
much.
$10.
We could bring clickbait.
Oh,
Yay! My kiddo can have fun with somebody.
and this
With
is
a kid.
kind of cool. I hadn't heard of people doing this before. They're offering half-day tickets.
That's interesting.
You
when
won't be
your site
allowed
posts
in
that.
until 2:30. So, I guess they'll have like a different color wristband or something, and you
Something.
can't get in until after 2:30. But if you want a half day, you show up in the afternoon, $35,
That's not.
Which-
See, that's a sweet deal.
which technically isn't half the cost of the first one.
You don't talk about that.
$60.
Look.
Whatever. They got to make money.
You got to make money,
They
man.
got to get the money.
Money.
For the thing they want to buy.
Okay.
So $60 for adults all day, $35 after 2:30 p.m. But wait, there's more. So I did a little more digging. How much would you pay for a photo op and admission for two people to see Jason Momoa?
How much would I actually pay, or how much do I want to say out loud, and so that way the people don't get any ideas?
Well, think of that. What do you think?
$5.
What do you think the photo op alone for Jason Momoa would be?
Wasn't it like $200 at Wizard World?
I think
last
it
year?
was. I think it was about 200 or it was 150, something like that.
So you say 150 plus a day. If you get a day pass, that's like another $50 for each person. So that's another 100. So about 250.
You ever take plus or minus?
Yeah.
How about 179?
All in.
They have a deal right now, and I saw this on their website. Jason Momoa, you get admission for 2 people and a photo op for $179.
Which is an amazing deal, especially with that movie.
I'll be going online right after the show.
Yeah,
You're buying mine too, right?
No.
Oh.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't be the other part of the 2 there. I guess
I was trying.
Goose is 80. So what? Plus, once you get her around Jason Momoa, you know what, Goose, you may want to bring Aaron instead.
See?
Okay, I'm
I'm the
saying.
safe one.
You may want to bring him along. So you're already paying $120 to get in, and so that means that the photo op only costs $59 for
Which
Jason
is a
Momoa.
steal for that.
That's an absolute steal.
I mean,
that'd be a steal. You know the old saying, "That's a steal at twice the price."
Right.
That
It
really
would be
would.
a-
That would be a steal for twice.
So let me
the
ask you
price.
this question.
Go for it.
And Aaron,
Yeah.
so photo op for Ben Affleck, not including admission to a con or anything, how much would you be willing to pay for that?
$5. No. I remember when I went to Dallas, I want to say his was like around 400 to 500 just for his picture. That didn't count for the cost of the ticket. So I didn't do it then. I probably would honestly say maybe $250 would be the most I'd want to
Just
spend
for the
on
photo
his.
op itself.
Right,
Because
just for the photo
remember-
op, not counting my 3-day pass.
Remember what the photo op was for Felicity Jones at New York City Comic Con last year?
Well, wasn't it at Star Wars Celebration? It was autograph and photo op for $400.
For $400.
Oh, wow.
For
Yeah.
$400.
That's expensive.
So guess what the Ben Affleck deal is?
That's and this deal is two admissions and the photo op, right?
Yes,
Right.
2 admissions and the photo op for a grand total of $269.
Which is a big steal. Because like I said, I remember his picture was like $400 or $500.
Yeah,
alone.
so the Ben Affleck photo op is essentially $149.
Yeah.
I mean, wow.
Wow.
Now, is that a one-day pass or did it? was
That's
it the
one
whole
day
weekend?
pass.
Okay.
It's a 1-day pass for 2 people.
For 2 people. Okay.
So it's admission for 2 plus the photo op for $269 for Ben Affleck, $179 for Jason
That's a
Momoa.
steal. That's just a huge steal.
That's
Get 'em both.
incredible.
Are you going to buy me mine now, Goose, too?
No.
For that? Oh.
That literally is almost thievery. I mean, good
That,
gracious.
it is because
It
when I
also
went to
comes
Dallas,
with
I
a
didn't wanna
night
spend
in
that.
jail for stealing. At
Yeah,
that point.
no kidding.
It's gonna be the SpongeBob episode where they just open the jail, throw them in for a minute, and let them out.
And they are going to have different groups set up. You can get Group A, Group B, Group C, and so on. Now, some of these have already sold out. So,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh,
Remember,
wow.
remember, this is a limited deal.
Yeah.
It's not going to be at an event center. It's not going to be at a. It's not going to be at the
Not
Dome,
at the
or
Dome,
the Henry
not
B.
convention
Gonzalez
centers.
Convention Center. It's going to be at a hotel. Now, true, it's a JW Marriott hotel, so it's huge. But at the same time,
Carpool.
yeah, parking's going to be a nightmare, an
Carpool.
absolute nightmare. So yeah, definitely that's a big thing right now. So what we're looking at this right now, the Jason Momoa photo op and admission combo.
So it's actually half day
Okay.
admission.
oh, is it? Oh, it sure is valid after 2:30. Okay, so it's the
So-
half day admissions.
But still, it's not a bad deal, though, because, I mean, you're getting that picture. And that picture, like I said, if we just go with Ben Affleck at being $400, you're still saving a lot
Yeah,
of
I
money.
would expect to pay $179 just for the photo op.
Exactly.
Let alone the half day VIPs and all that stuff. They do also have VIPs. They do have full day admissions, so you can go and check that out as well. We'll report in as soon as we know about like what vendors are going or what else there is to do
And
other than stand.
looks like Affleck's the only things available for Affleck is Sunday.
Ooh,
I can do Sunday. I don't mind. Don't forget.
Sunday.
So, an honest question, both of y'all.
Yeah,
Would you really pay to have a picture of Ben Affleck? Either one of y'all.
I would pay, but I wouldn't pay $270.
Okay.
Yeah, I would want to get paid.
I mean,
He'd have to pay,
he pays you.
Well, we'd have to ask Ben Affleck. Ben, how much would you pay to have your picture taken with Goose?
He's just going to shake his head a penny.
Just ballpark. I mean, come on. I did go a little photo op crazy at the Alamo City Comic Con when they had it like last Memorial Day.
You okay?
And I got a bunch of those photo ops. I'd rather have photo ops than autographs because you
Same.
can get autographs anywhere on eBay.
Yeah.
You can buy them anywhere, and it doesn't. People can also think you got them from
Yeah.
eBay or wherever, but photo ops, you're there. And I remember I had my picture taken with Summer Glau.
I hate you.
I know, right?
There's hatred now.
And I get up in the line, and they've got them sequestered in these little booths,
Right.
so no one else can take pictures. And she took a picture with this couple, and then they walk off, and then she looks right over at me and she waves, and I just kind of stood there. I'm like, she's Summer Glau looking right.
And then you noticed the guy with the sandwich for her behind you, and he went up front.
Dude, That's savage, bro. Yeah, she wasn't waving at me. No, she was waving at me and kind of, when I walked
awesome,
up there
man.
and you get your 3 seconds with them before
yeah.
you're shuffled off. But still, that was pretty cool.
So I was looking at that website.
What else we got?
Look at Ben Affleck autograph Sunday Group A.
Yeah, that's about how much it was in Dallas.
So the Ben Affleck autograph is $250 on Sunday.
yeah, see, I never got to see him.
Click the little blue information thing there. Let's see. Does that include anything else?
No, it should be his.
Just
yeah.
autograph. That does not
That's how
include
you make it.
admission. So wait a minute. Let me get this straight. So
Autograph for
you
100
so
for
you can
Momoa.
get Ben Affleck's autograph for $250, but you still have to get admission.
Right.
Or you can get the admission for $2
For the half
and
dance.
a photo op for $269.
So for $19 more.
So here's the fun part about that. For $519, you can get tickets for 2. You can get the photo op and get him to sign it
Ouch.
for $519.
It's still cheaper than what Dallas was, but
Yeah.
it's still expensive. I still wouldn't. No, I still wouldn't.
Nah, yeah, I wouldn't do that. But yikes! Wow. Okay, so all right. Well, so we'll have more on the Celebrity Fan Fest as it happens. We'll just definitely that's something to keep an eye on. And the reason why we spent so much time on this, it came out. Nobody heard
really-
anything about
no.
this.
Yeah.
It just magically appeared one day. Their Facebook page, I think, has like less than 300 likes.
And we're close to what, 3 weeks away.
I'm
and
sorry.
they-
Hold on. My mother listens to the show. Fewer than 300 likes. I'm so sorry, Mom.
Anyway, so we're like
Wow.
what,
Okay.
3 weeks away from it, 4 weeks away from it,
Yeah. About-
and they've
The
announced
first week
Ben
of November?
Affleck 4 weeks out.
yes.
That means there's more.
There has to be more.
But who could you get that's bigger than Momoa and Affleck? Who's going to
Cavill.
draw more?
Stanley.
But Stanley's done with the circuit. He's gone.
Mark Hamill,
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill, maybe, yeah.
He'd be bigger. Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford,
Harrison Ford would be bigger
or
than Ben Affleck.
for David, Clarissa Flockhart.
John Williams.
Typically,
John-
musicians don't come out to this type of thing.
Well, no, I agree, but imagine though what would happen if they did announce it.
But imagine bringing Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot and Ezra Miller.
If they bring Gal Gadot by herself,
Yes.
would just be phenomenal.
Yes.
Absolutely incredible if they could get Gal Gadot, because so far there's a very heavy DC slant to this,
Right.
and don't know where it came from. We'll try to get answers, but wow,
So
that would be huge.
When we went to Wizard World, I got me a season 4 Stargate Atlantis cast photo, and I got Joe Flanagan to sign it. I would like to get Momoa to sign it, but I'm not entirely sure I have that much money, especially 2 weeks out from Alamo City Comic Con.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
that's the problem.
It's only
We're-
2 weeks out.
We're going to spend so much money at Alamo City, and we're press.
Yeah.
We're going to get in there. That's not a problem, but we're going to spend so much money.
But do you think it's wise for a con like this with this many stars to be just 2 weeks out from the major Comic Con in San Antonio?
Absolutely not, but it may not be up to them.
But the thing is, too, look, they've already sold out on Affleck, was it, right? So, I mean, they're getting the money.
Almost, yeah. Well, but we don't know. They could have only sold 10 of those.
That's true, too.
We don't know if they sold 10 or 1,000. We really don't know.
It doesn't have...
It just says limited quantity so far is what it says on
oh,
the website.
yeah. So it doesn't tell you... Like you said, it could be just 10 for that time slot, and that's it.
Well, there's not any full day passes for the Momoa photo op for Saturday or Sunday, it looks like.
Probably because
And there's
I bet he's flying in that day. I bet that's what it is.
And there's no Affleck general admission for Saturday.
Probably because he's flying in that
So
day.
they're just being there for the day,
Yeah.
more than likely.
Alrighty. Okay, so we'll release more details as we know it. Speaking of which, there are some things that you can find over at Dragon's Lair of Alamo Ranch out on the west side of San Antonio off of 151 and 1604. That's way out there on the west side by SeaWorld. I was out there just recently, and they were up like unloading whole pallets full of boxes, and it was games, and it was graphic novels, and it was game mats and dice and paint, and so much going on out there. The events they have, guys, Halloween's going to be big for them. They're going to have a lot going on around Halloween as well. I love going out there all the time, out by 151 and 1604. That's Dragon's Lair of Alamo Ranch. All right, so 2008 was really what kicked off what I call the decade of geeky greatness. And I mean, we had big movies before. We had Blade, and we had Lord of the Rings, and we had all these movies, but we didn't really have anything close to what we have today until 2008 when we got Iron Man and The Dark Knight in the same year.
Okay.
Dark Knight was the pinnacle so far of the DC world.
Right.
All right, that was by far one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. The ending dragged on a little bit, but holy cow, it was phenomenal. And then you get Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr. is reborn back onto the Hollywood stage, clean and sober, that we know of, and is the face of Marvel.
Right.
And the Marvel Cinematic Universe is the greatest franchise today. Yes,
Right.
even greater than Star Wars. Today.
Today.
But not
Okay.
as great as Star Trek.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was the last Star Trek movie?
Star Trek Beyond.
When was that?
2015,
Oh,
14.
The latest Star Trek series was this year, and season 2 starts in
Well, he means the
January.
movies.
I say movies. I mean, we go TV shows. Look at where Marvel's at.
And Marvel has 21 series out now.
They have
that,
they
plus
have
multiple
one on
networks.
network television. It doesn't come back till July.
They have 2, I thought.
They have Agents of Shield.
All right, look, I'm
on
gonna
network television.
Let me throw some numbers out at you here real quick. This is
Gifted.
something that you're going to learn. I want you to learn something from this show every week. So here's your little educational lesson. In 2008, from going back to 1989, we only had 2 films break the $1 billion mark at the box office, and that was Return of the King, which earned it, and Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Man's Chest. And only one movie broke $2 billion, and that was Titanic.
Okay.
Since then, since 2008, we've had a $1 billion movie every year. Every single year, we've had at least $1 billion movie, and we've had 3 break the $2 billion barrier. Can you guess the 3?
Avengers Infinity
yeah.
War.
Avengers: Infinity War.
I'm trying to think what else came out in the last 3 years.
In the last decade.
Decade.
The Force Awakens.
Force Awakens is 2.
Ooh.
Ooh. What's the third one?
The first Avengers film.
No.
Wonder Woman.
I'll give you a hint. It's number 1 at the box office all time. Not adjusted for inflation. That would be Avatar.
Oh,
yeah.
Came out
I forgot about that
2009.
one.
Good God.
I
there we
completely
go.
forgot about that film.
Yeah, so we've had 3 $2 billion movies since then. Video game sales have also risen quite a bit. $27 billion sold just in North America for last year. The market right now is the global market's $79 billion. It'll hit 90 in 2 years. Toy sales.
Microtransactions.
Toy sales, huge. Broke $22 billion a year, been rising every year for the past decade. Even during the recession of 2009, 2010, toy sales still grew 2%, and Batman alone counts for 28% of all online toy and apparel sales.
That's ridiculous. 28%. Almost a third.
Almost a little more than a quarter.
Yeah.
Almost a third of all toy and apparel sales are Batman.
Remember, you are my number 1 guy.
Absolutely. I mean, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So it all started in 2008.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. So it all started in 2008 with those
Right.
movies. And now the Marvel Cinematic Universe was born out of that. The world of DC, EU, universe, whatever, is starting to make that comeback. Star Wars made the
No,
comeback.
it's starting to implode.
Star Trek made the comeback. It all happened in the last 10 years. It has literally changed the box office landscape.
Right.
Not everybody's happy about it.
No.
Ethan Hawke was whining about it not too long ago.
Oh, yeah.
But it has transformed the landscape. It has changed movie making. The merchandise is everywhere. I
Right.
mean, you can't walk down the street without seeing somebody wearing something geeky at some point.
Right.
You know, Wall Street investment bankers are wearing Captain America ties and Iron Man cufflinks and that
Oh,
sort
yeah.
of thing.
So
$70 cufflinks.
before Iron Man hit, there's a story that goes Robert Downey Jr. was just at the beach or something, just considering his life. Not too long after that, he was at that same Burger King holding his action figure.
I could see that.
Wow.
And
How
Ro-
surreal is that?
it's incredible. I mean, to think about where your life can go from one year to the next. Robert Downey Jr. was a rising star
Right.
before the drugs and the booze and the alcohol and all that stuff kicked in, and then he was a laughing stock and he was brushed off. He was like Charlie Sheen before Charlie Sheen was Charlie Sheen.
Right.
Well,
And then the comeback of comebacks. I can't
Yeah.
think, was there a greater Hollywood comeback than Robert Downey Jr.?
I don't think so. Have I told you my Robert Downey Jr. Tony Stark little story?
You haven't, but please tell us again.
So when it was first announced that Robert Downey Jr. was going to be Tony Stark, I'm like, really? Oh, man.
Tony Stank, what?
Exactly. So I was like, well, Robert Downey Jr. has had problems with booze, with drugs, with women. All right, so is Tony Stark.
I'm telling you, it's like they were made for the role.
Exactly.
He really was.
You think about the last 10 years where Kevin Feige started.
Right.
I mean, in a way, it is the Cinderella story because at some point, Kevin Feige had to pitch this idea to Marvel that, you know what, I think we can make a cinematic universe out of this. And,
Right.
here's my idea. Here's where it can go. Here's where I want to develop it. And I guarantee he was laughed off by at least 3 movie studios.
Right. Probably.
I guarantee it. But isn't that the way everything should go? Shouldn't everything start that way with everybody laughing you off because you have a brilliant idea? that you know will work, that you know can work and should work, but everybody laughs you off until somebody takes a chance and says, all right, let's see what happens.
Yes.
And it changes everything.
Don't get discouraged by the no's, because no matter how many no's you get, it just takes that one yes.
Yep.
That's
Trust
all it
me,
is.
we know.
Yeah. I love telling the Babe Ruth story. Babe Ruth is known because he hit 714 home runs.
Right.
But he struck out 1,330 times.
Yeah.
1,330 times the guy struck out. It's almost twice as many. It's almost a 2-to-1 ratio.
Right.
But somebody somewhere looked at the salt and the SWAT and said, all right, grab a bat. Let's see what you can do.
Right.
You know, Thomas Edison, everybody laughed him off. Everybody laughs everybody off the first time they hear an idea, and then all of a sudden you have the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right.
So in Major League Baseball, you can be a Hall of Famer by missing 2 out of 3 times.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, think about it. That's about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have a career average of 250, which means you hit 1 out of every 4,
So you missed 3 out of every
you miss
4.
3 out of every 4, you could still be a Hall of Famer.
Wow.
Of course, depending on if you play for the Yankees or not. But the Astros aren't looking too good either. I'm just saying.
Hey.
But it can still be done, and everybody gets laughed off. So this is the lesson from the decade of geeky greatness: is don't stop trying.
Don't
Stop believing, because somebody's going to take a chance on you at some point, and you're going to hit it big.
Right.
And then you have a decade that has changed. Literally, Kevin Feige has changed the world.
Yeah. The way
And-
everyone looks at geeks and all that, the comic books, video games, it's all changed in the last 10 years.
Geek is now mainstream.
It is.
It is no longer in the closet. It is no longer in a basement. It is no longer in an attic somewhere. Now everybody looks forward to the next geeky big thing.
Yep.
The next geeky movie, geeky series, geeky everything. It's all big. It's all happening right now. And as we close down on 2018, we are closing down on the decade that changed everything. All right, so that will wrap it up here. For Goose, for Aaron, and for myself, I do want to thank our sponsors, the Texas Renaissance Festival, Dragon's Lair Alamo Ranch, the Heroes and Villains of Cosplay, and the Mailing Spot here in San Antonio. I want to thank you for listening. Feel free to check out our website, getyourgeekon.org, and make sure to get your geek on every single day.